Tonight, rock, stairs, grass. Yes, you heard that right. No paper and scissors here, just some of the more unusual pregame rituals the Athens area football teams follow. Plus, the 2-year journey of a starting quarterback who's committed to play baseball at the University of Georgia. And our featured football game of the week, Clark Central versus Oconee County. All of that and more tonight on Grady's Sportsource. Good evening and welcome to the first Grady Sportsource show of 2019. This is your home for high school sports in the Athens area, and I'm your host, Caroline Connolly.
And I'm your analyst, Will Wynn.
Walking down the stairs as a pack, touching an infamous rock, or even eating grass in the end zone. What better way for teams to kick off their Friday Night Lights games with these pregame rituals? Grady Sports reporters Nicole Sharon and Hayden Chambliss had the chance to visit these 3 schools and gain an inside look into their traditions.
Many schools have different pregame rituals before a football game. Here at Clark Central, before they take the field, they get to walk down these steps.
Walking down the pines is what we called it. It's been around ever since I played here.
Coach Perno remembers walking down these stairs and has continued to carry over this tradition.
But from a player's perspective, it's still the pines. And you still have that tradition. And anything I can keep going that has been around for a long time, I'm going to do my best to try and keep it going.
Imagine a stadium full of fans screaming with excitement as their players come storming down the stairs.
Just getting at the top of the steps and seeing the field and, is I think you can sense when those guys get to the top of the steps that it's, a different switch turns on.
Coach Perno cherishes this longtime football tradition at Clark Central High School. They anxiously wait to storm down these stairs every Friday they play at Billy Henderson Stadium. However, there is another historical tradition that is greatly valued.
While Clark Central walks down the stairs before every home game, their rival Cedar Shoals touches this infamous rock before walking onto the field. With their first stadium that was built in 1985 came the marble rock that reads, "Dedicated to those who did not trod upon this sod." Athletic director and head boys basketball coach Drico Thomas was in 8th grade in 1985. He has made it a point to pass down the tradition and history to the younger generations.
We hope that they pass that on to the kids, because the idea is you want the kids to understand that, hey, there were a lot of people before you that paved the way for you to be where you are and to be wearing that uniform and to be playing in that stadium. Maybe that makes some kid work even that much harder.
Thomas also said that the tradition is still an integral part in getting the players ready to play.
There's a lot of things that gets them hyped, and I think touching the rock and then going through, the run through is kind of that last little piece before you go onto the field and the game kicks off.
Many schools have traditions like walking downstairs or touching an infamous rock. Not many players like to taste the field that they're about to play on. Thomas Stevenson, a senior defensive tackle and center for the Athens Christian Eagles, has a pregame ritual that I can guarantee you don't hear about often.
My pregame ritual of eating grass before games started my freshman year when I was playing with my brother, who was a junior at the time, and we always just kind of done it before games, just what we did. Stevenson told us that while the grass doesn't have a distinct taste, he does have a favorite. Every time Athens Christian visits their neighboring school, Athens Academy, he gets a special treat. The taste doesn't taste like anything, but the texture is different, You get a full grip of it, it like fills your mouth, it's more fluffy.
Now, he doesn't just eat grass for his own enjoyment.
I'm not saying I'm superstitious or anything, but I feel like it does, help us win.
Before every game, Stevenson will walk to the end zone, kneel down, give the grass a good look, and shove a chunk in his mouth, dirt and all. Coach Williams said that he had no idea that his player was grazing the end zone before every game.
I was shocked. He does not come across, if I said 50 kids, of which kid would do that, which young man, never would I say Thomas.
I can tell you right now, I was shocked too. Grass is definitely not my choice of snack. While Stevenson's pregame ritual is more unique than most, many schools in the Athens area participate in some activity to prepare them to play under the Friday Night Lights.
So Hayden, how'd that grass taste?
I don't think I would ever do it again.
You're saying you don't want grass as your daily snack? I hear it's pretty nutritious.
Well, now that you mention it, I actually brought some for you to try, Nicole.
Oh, you want me to try this?
Yeah.
Why not? It's pretty good, guys, honestly.
Well, now that you've had your snack, are you ready to go run up and down the stairs with Coach Perno?
Oh my gosh, when I was at Clark Central, I thought he was about to test my endurance and run up and down. He said that when he played on the team, they had to run up and down the stairs before the game and at halftime.
Wow.
Coming up, Will joins Nicole and me to discuss some of the early season's biggest storylines in a little game of buy, sell, or hold.
Okay, so we drowned the fire, stirred it, drowned it again, and now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. I already posted it.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your closet. Still no jobs? Just more stuff? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed. And they're the stuff inside your stuff. Our job is to unlock those jobs. And it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made this vacation happen.
Double points with every purchase?
Cleverly merging promotions.
Love it.
Cross-referencing travel sites. And booking all your flights with those...
Vouchers. I got us bumped.
They were like, oh. But now they're like... Aloha. You aced this vacation. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Welcome back to Grady Sportsource. I'm your host, Caroline Connolly. I'm sitting here with Nicole Sheeran and Will Wynn. We're going to play a little game called Buy, Sell, or Hold. How this game works is we'll have 3 topics to discuss, and I'll read a headline, and you guys are going to say if you want to buy, sell, or hold on that player or program. First up, we have Max Johnson, quarterback of Oconee County. Are you guys buying or selling or holding on Max Johnson living up to his reputation during his senior season?
Caroline, I'm going to hold on Max Johnson. He is a great quarterback, but what I can't help but notice is his stats from sophomore season to junior season. Sophomore season, he threw for over 1,900 yards and had a completion percentage just above 52%. In his junior season, he just eclipsed 1,000 yards, and his completion percentage dropped all the way down to 39%.
See, I'm buying Johnson. I feel really good about him, guys.
What makes you so confident?
Although, Will, you do bring up a good point of the decrease in passing yards from sophomore to junior season. It's Max Johnson. 4-star recruit, committed to LSU, had 16 offers from different schools. A player with this kind of talent is not going to hide it, and he's going to want to prove those doubters from last season wrong. So I'm buying Johnson on this one.
All right, I'm actually going to wait and hold on Max Johnson for now. He is a great quarterback. You guys are right, he is. But his team also, he is a senior, and he's committed to a great school. His team went 6-5 last year, and I do see him prioritizing his health rather than trying to make a big run in the playoffs this season.
Well, Caroline, if you feel that way, then why don't you just sell him?
Well, it is only week 2, and I kind of want to see how he plays the next few games to see if I'm in on him or if I'm just going to sell.
I agree with Caroline. I need to see a little bit more from him.
All right, moving on to our next one, we have Athens Academy. So Athens Academy has made it to the state championship the past 2 seasons. How do you guys feel on Athens Academy making it back to the state championship this season for the 3rd straight year?
I am also going to hold on this one. Athens Academy will have a great season, but I can't help but think Prince Avenue will stand in their way. Last year, Prince Avenue played them twice, once in the playoffs and got beat both times. I think Prince Avenue will come into next season with a revenge mindset.
When they do play this season, who do you got?
They will meet on October 4th, and to be the best, you got to beat the best, so I'm going to stick with Athens Academy for now.
All right, guys. Now, you may think I'm crazy, but I'm selling Athens Academy making it to the state championship for the 3rd year.
Why are you selling? Why?
All right, like you said, Will, Prince Avenue, they're going to have that revenge mindset coming into this season. Brock Vandegrift of Prince Avenue, he's one of the top quarterbacks in the 2021 recruiting class, recently committed to Oklahoma. He is going to give it his all and bring the heat this season. It's going to be the hunter becomes the hunted. Every team is going to come after Athens Academy and try to take them down. So I'm not only selling Athens Academy making it to the state championship for the 3rd year, but I'm buying in on Prince Avenue winning the region.
You heard it here first, folks.
The Spartans really need to watch their back this season because these other teams are coming. And for that reason, I'm selling Athens Academy.
I'm actually going to buy into Athens Academy right now. I think that their team will be able to get past Prince Avenue and Brock Vandegrift this year. I think that based on their rosters and this season, that they'll be able to get the job done and make it back to the state championship game.
So do you see Athens Academy winning the state championship this year?
That's the thing. I do think that they'll make it there, but Eagles Landing Christian Academy has beaten them by a lot in the past 2 years, and I don't see that changing this year. So I have a feeling that Eagles Landing Christian Academy will be able to beat them in the state championship, but I do buy into Athens Academy making it back to that game.
Yeah, I agree with Caroline. I feel like Athens Academy can make it back to the state championship. I don't know about them winning it.
All right, the last person we're going to talk about is O'Brien Barnett, the Clark Central running back. How do you guys feel on Barnett continuing his hot streak through his senior season this year?
This was my easiest decision. I am all in on him. I'm buying him. From his sophomore to junior season, his stats skyrocketed. He rushed for over 400 yards his sophomore season, and his junior season, he rushed for over more than 1,100 yards and scored 12 touchdowns.
Will, you read my mind. I am buying Barnett 100%. He has constantly improved on the field, and he continues to perform every season. According to Coach Perno, he's carried close to 300 carries and has not fumbled. Now, I really hope I didn't just jinx him by bringing that up.
You can't ignore that now.
Exactly. He is a stud, and he's going to continue to be an even bigger one this season. So I'm definitely buying Barnett on this one.
All right, I think I'm going to hold on Barnett for now. He is a stud, I will give you that, but he's also had Jonathan Sewell with him in the backfield for the past 2 seasons.
Jonathan Sewell? What about him?
He's another running back over at Clark Central, and he graduated in 2019. And I think that Barnett is a stud and will do great this season, but I'm worried about if he'll be able to continue his hot streak without having Sewell in the backfield to help him out.
Caroline, you couldn't even agree on one of these with me.
And that's all the time we have today, folks. Thank you for tuning in to this week's segment of Buy, Sell, or Hold. North Oconee has been on the rise in recent years under head coach Tyler Arendt. After a 9-3 season in 2018, the Titans head into 2019 with several new leaders on the field. One is their quarterback, who has had to overcome adversity. Grady sports reporter Mason Cantrell has the story.
Bubba Chandler isn't just North Oconee's newest starting quarterback. He's also a star pitcher, committed to the University of Georgia. But 2 years ago, that all seemed in jeopardy.
I was pitching in practice one day, and I threw a pitch, and Kumar Rocker actually hit it out. He hit a home run off of me in practice, and it popped. And I didn't think anything about it, so I threw another pitch, and then I couldn't move my arm. So then I went to the doctor that night and said it was a stress fracture, and the next day I had surgery.
Chandler knew he would be able to keep playing sports, but the question was, could he still pitch and pass with velocity? Following a successful surgery, a long rehab followed.
He had to have a 3-inch pin put in it, and it stayed in for about 6 months, and then they took it out, and the rehab, it was a year-long process, and it was a lot of tough times for him.
After coming back from rehab, Bubba committed to play baseball for the Bulldogs on June 15th, 2019. Although the surgery and rehab had both been successful, steps were taken at practice so that Chandler did not overwork his elbow. Despite the precautions, head coach Tyler Arendt told me Chandler would still make dazzling plays at practice.
Even though he couldn't throw right-handed, he's so athletic that he would throw left-handed in practice, and it would kind of catch you by surprise, and you'd have to ask him, hey man, are you throwing that right or left-handed? And he's like, Coach, I'm throwing that left-handed. He knew his limitations and what he was allowed to do, and he did a good job of following those rules or the expectation from the doctors so that he didn't wear out his arm.
Chandler steps into the starting role at North Oconee at a unique time for the program. The Titans will be looking to stay at the level of success they had last year following a period where they only won 1 game in 2 years. However, his coaches say that Chandler's experience in high-pressure baseball games with the Titans has helped him at the quarterback position.
By the end of the season and during our stretch run, Bubba was our #1 in our region games, hitting in the middle of our lineup and playing defense for us wherever we needed to. He's a good athlete. He's an even better competitor.
While the mental side of each game is similar, there are several differences between the throwing of a football and the throwing of a baseball.
When throwing a baseball, you want to get a pretty good extension. That's what I do at least. When you're throwing a football, you want to keep it close to your ear, your head.
Chandler's throwing motion appears to be working for him, as he threw 2 touchdowns on the way to North Oconee's 40-14 win over Putnam County last Friday. As Coach Arndt told me after the game, they'll be looking for him to throw plenty more of them as the Titans season continues. With Grady Sports, I'm Mason Cantrell.
Chandler and the Titans will be back in action tonight as they travel to Winder to take on the Appalachia Wildcats. When we come back, Will and I preview Clark Central versus Oconee County in our featured Game of the Week.
What to expect when you're expecting
Like here.
a teenager.
Today, I'm going to show you how to team-proof your home. First step, hide the car keys, preferably somewhere they would never look. Challenges will come up. Be ready for them. Hi, honey.
Ready for the... Mom, you don't use mannequins in the mannequin challenge.
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Did you hear about the pony with a sore throat? He was a little horse. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why couldn't the Wait, why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Where the cats go on vacation? New York.
Did you know parking over tall, dry grass can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Before we talk about Game of the Week, let's take a look at what a few of the other Athens area teams have in store tonight. Will, it seems like the Athens Christian Eagles may be in for another tough game against Commerce.
Yeah, you might remember that Commerce shut out the Eagles 38-0 last season. The Tigers are also coming off a nice win against West Hall in their season opener. I see Commerce winning this game solely on how explosive their offense is.
Another Athens area team, Cedar Shoals, will travel to Winder Barrow tonight. The Jaguars are coming off of an overtime win last week, while the Bulldogs put up 36 points in their loss.
Keanu Smith threw for 179 yards and 1 touchdown in last season's matchup for the Jaguars. He was the heartbeat of their offense last season, but he graduated. Can Cedar Shoals avenge their 14-7 loss from last season without him? This should be another game that goes down to the wire based on strong defenses returning.
The North Oconee Titans will try and remain undefeated as they travel to Appalachia tonight. North Oconee defeated Appalachia 17-13 in last season's matchup.
21 of the 30 points scored came in the first quarter in last year's game. Only 9 points were scored in the last 3 quarters. I want to see if these two teams can get off to another hard start and continue it through the whole 4 quarters. The Titans won their opener this season by 26 points, while the Appalachia Wildcats suffered a loss.
Prince Avenue will host Whitfield Academy in a non-conference matchup Friday. Both teams won in blowout fashion last Friday. These teams met last year in a 30-6 win for the Prince Avenue Wolverines.
Brock Vandegrift threw for 236 yards and 1 touchdown in last season's game. He also led the team in rushing the whole season as a quarterback. Guys like Jaden Smith and Gabriel McLemore have to put pressure on him for a chance to win.
Now we can get into our Game of the Week. The Oconee County Warriors will be in Athens to take on the Clark Central Gladiators tonight. Both teams are coming off of a win, but the Gladiators had a little less rest than the Warriors, right, Will?
Yeah, those thunderstorms pushed Clark Central's opener last week to Saturday. 6 days later, they're hosting a team that they've beaten the past 2 seasons. Last year's game against Oconee County, Clark Central won 17-10.
Both teams have a significant player on offense that will impact the outcome of the game. Oconee County has someone we've already talked about in the show, quarterback Max Johnson, a 4-star recruit committed to LSU, and Clark Central, of course, has O'Brien Barnett, who has 21 rushing touchdowns in his career.
Warriors head coach Travis Nolan had some high praise for the Gladiator star tailback.
It'll be a tough challenge. I think he's one of the most underrated backs in the state. I think he's one of the best backs in Georgia, and he'll be a load for us to try to contain. It's hard to do because they've got 2 really talented wideouts out there as well, and a good quarterback that puts the ball on the money. So that provides more opportunities for O'Brien because they put you in space to take care of those guys.
Barnett rushed for 61 yards and 1 touchdown in last year's game against Oconee County. He also caught 4 passes for 40 yards. As we already discussed, now that he's no longer sharing the backfield, I would imagine Barnett will get even more touches.
We also had the chance to sit down with Clark Central's head coach, David Purnell. He talked about how the Gladiators have handled Max Johnson in the past and his confidence in his team to do the same tonight.
He's a great player, great kid, really good competitor, and I really like him as a player. But, we've handled him the last 2 years. We play a great schedule, so we're playing against a lot of good quarterbacks, and we can't get too caught up in that, and we got to continue to focus on us. We've got a lot of good momentum, and coming off of last week, I think it should carry over.
Johnson threw for 208 yards and rushed for the only touchdown the Warriors scored in last year's game.
In that game, the Warriors ran 65 plays while the Gladiators ran 51. I think the time of possession could impact the result of this game because points were hard to come by when these teams last met.
All right, thanks for all your insight, Will. We're all looking forward to another great night of high school football. Make sure you follow @Grady Sports on Twitter and Instagram for all of our high school football updates. For everyone here at Sportsource, I'm your host, Caroline Connolly.
And I'm Will Wynn.
Thank you for watching. Good night.
Grady News Source is a student production of the Grady College of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of Georgia, which is solely responsible for its contents. Views expressed do not represent those of the administration nor the Board of Regents at the University System of Georgia.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why did the girl ask the mushroom to dance? Because he was a fun guy. What do you call a pig that knows karate? Pork chop. So how does a tissue dance? Put a little boogie on it.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How could you not love him?
Hi, I'm Peter, and there's nothing I love more than sharing vegetables with my friends. Come on in! Help yourself to anything. That's why we give our food the utmost respect it deserves. Did you know there are simple steps we can all take to help save food? You can cook it, store it, even share it. Just don't waste it. Because when it comes to food, better ache than never. To learn more, visit SaveTheFood.com.
You think getting dumped by text is harsh? Try getting dumped by a tennis ball. My ex-owner drove me out to the woods, yelled fetch, and by the time I brought the ball back, he was gone. Yeah, I was pissed. But the folks at the shelter helped me let go of my anger. I learned coping skills, like taking it to the hole. Boom! Now I'm ready to fetch again. But how about I throw and you run and get it?
Attention travelers, next Tuesday a major power outage will cause complete chaos throughout the city. Food, water, and phone service will be in short supply. There will likely be panic citywide. Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
We'd do anything for kids. Yet 1 in 6 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org.
Start a story. Adopt at theshelterpetproject.org. I love
Can we get strawberries?
Okay.